As sure as the star-fallen stone, we make our glorious return to the colliding worlds. Welcome back, my students, and in today's lecture, we shall cover the Oathbearers of Aurastell, a most grand kingdom of knights, where oaths have magical significance. So sit back, have your notes ready, as we cover this most glorious kingdom. But first, a little story, written by the faction's creator. Rise, written by Family Man. The young squire went to ground with a gasp. I yield, Sir Brockton! Still, the old knight inhaled stiffly, raising his steel for another strike. The squire let out a panicked groan as he brought up his buckler, just in time to deflect the blow. I yield, sir! I am spent! Aye, are you? Growled Sir Brockton. Then how did that buckler rise to meet me, eh? The squire lay on his back panting. Do you think that when death comes for you, life will let you keep any of yourself? The knight huffed as he unbuckled his gorget. No, life will wring you dry and serve you to death as a husk. Spent is what you are when you're dead. This is only tired. Then I am tired, sir, rasped the squire. More tired than I have ever been. Verily, chuckled Sir Brockton, as he offered his hand to the lad. But not as tired as you'll ever be. With a heave, the old man pulled up the young, and the two made their way across the courtyard. Together, they landed heavy on an oak bench, where pages unmade their armor. Water was fetched from a trough, and fetched again. Is this a test of nerve? Asked the squire, in between gulps of water. Am I to divine some greater lesson from this indefatigable thrashing? Aye, returned Sir Brockton. And have you? I suppose this is a preview of the pain of battle, said the lad. And 'tis best to feel this now, to prepare for its fullness on the marches? The grizzled knight sighed and ran a hand through his silver hair. No, that is not the lesson. Then what? Some years hence, as a knight, you'll meet your limit. Tired as you'll ever be, you'll reckon not with the pain in your body, but pain in your heart, as you watch happen that which you had no strength left to stop. On that day, you'll give anything to rise up to meet your foe. The knight paused and looked upon the setting sun before he continued. The lesson I teach is how to rise again. Do not forget it. When one looks upon the origins of the Oathbearers, one sees a time of great change, of great renewal. For before the age of the Oathbearers, there was a hamlet and a king of old. But everything changed when a star fell from the sky and turned the hamlet to ruin, and the king became a king of nothing at all. Lesser men would fall into despair at such a turn of events, but not this king of old. He did not despair. He saw the auspicious event as an omen of change and a chance to become greater. And so rebuilding began, starting with the star-fallen stone itself. The king asked of his subjects to make a throne out of it, from which he could rule. But to their surprise, the stone was too big to lift, and too sunken to mine away. So, they settled for a third option. They carved a throne into the stone itself. A throne in a field, with the king sat upon it. He vowed he would defend this field until it grew into a mighty kingdom. And so it did. The throne became a castle, and then a wall came up around it, all upon the star in the ground. And it was rare indeed, even among stars, for it was that of a wishing star, the same one might wish upon when gazing into the night sky. The king had made a vow upon this star, which is just a wish by a different name, and so he had drawn power from the star itself to carve a new fate for his budding kingdom. When in front of that throne, words gained a kind of magic, and oaths became powerful and real. In time, the Silver Kingdom grew and became Aurastell. Though it was a kingdom of peace, many trials beset it, and a righteous knightage rose in kind. Subjects from all corners of Aurastell were called to serve, and as they swore oaths of service in the throne room, even the lowest peasants knew they were destined for greatness. In the kingdom of Aurastell, lineage has little bearing on one's capacity for greatness, save for the royal family. While once there were many noble houses whose heraldry decorated the halls of knighthood in a gaudy display of self-import, but now there exist only the 6 grand houses upon the wall. Each house is so named after one of the 6 primary constellations that rotate annually in the sky above the Silver Kingdom. Those who swear service before the king's throne cast off their family heraldry and become inducted into the grand houses that align with the constellation of their birth. In this way, all houses receive fresh blood consistently through the generations, and no house gains preference over the other. Aspirants and squires often choose to keep their family names for a time, but more often than not, by the time a house produces a knight, that man or woman will adopt the honorific house surname. A gesture of gratitude to all those who have taught and cared for them on their various journeys. The House of the Open Palm has gained a reputation as a place of new beginnings. For those who flock to its banner have often faced harsh beginnings of their own, be it through malnutrition, wintertime illness, or just a general lack of resources due to war. And those who survive are regarded as particularly dogged, despite some physical ailments. The Open Palm instills them with a sense of courage and heart to match any of the greatest warriors. Those of the House of Palm who ascend the ranks often swear oaths of courage, proving their mettle on the battlefield and defying the fates nature handed them. The lineage of the baying hound can be traced back to some of the earliest trappers and huntsmen of Aurastell. In the kingdom's nascent years, before the fields were plowed and crops were abundant, these hunters kept the people fed and were rewarded for their generosity by the king of old. In contemporary times, the baying hound produces fine knights of all stripes, but those who take the oaths of Animus are particularly successful at tracking their sworn enemies and fulfilling their vows. The House of the Overflowing Cups have become known in particular for their scholarly development. Those who ascend the ranks of command are regarded as superior tacticians and well learned of matters beyond the battlefield. Even those who do not go on to combat roles may contribute to the kingdom's greatness as apothecaries, lithographers, or advisors. Frequently, those who swear oaths of restoration return ancient artifacts and other potent curios seized during great campaigns far afield back to the Silver Kingdom. Once, the House of the Bear was dominated by strong, vainglorious figures who judged the worth of a knight by their pluck and daring do. The founders of this house were raucous and infamous for their exploits on the battlefield. In time, the cost of countless campaigns set in, and even the righteous would have to reckon with the harsh truths of war. Their temperament settled, hardened like steel against an anvil, and the house changed with them. Now, those who are tutored by the bear emerge as stalwart leaders, fearless and ever ready to charge into the fray. They often swear oaths of vanguard, not because they seek glory, but because they are unwilling to let others face certain death in their places. The House of the Maiden Pure was once composed only of lords and ladies of peace, devoted entirely to healing and mending soldiers broken by the marches. Though such restrictions were cast aside long ago, but the echoes of the house's forebears can be felt to this day. The emphatic lessons taught to Knights of the Maiden will lead them to swear oaths of aegis, lending them deep resolve when acting as a protector of weaker warriors. They know it is not the strength of one's arm that keeps them in the fight, but it is the strength of one's heart. And finally, we have the Rabbit Coronation. Those Aurastellians born in the dead of winter are often viewed as lucky or destined for greatness. For when the star originally fell, it was under the sign of the Rabbit Coronation. And so, children of this constellation are associated with the kingdom's great beginning. And this, whether intentional or not, has resulted in the House of the Coronation producing fine members of the King's Guard. Their royals, as royal centuries, have earned the house great honor over many generations, regardless of the oaths that were sworn. And that brings an end to this week's lecture. If you stayed this long, thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And if there's anything in particular you would like me to cover in the future, let me know in the comments below. I am the World Archivist, and I hope to see you next time.